Good afternoon, everyone. This is our last town hall meeting on accreditation, and today we'll be looking at Standard 2. So looking at Standard 2A, instructional programs, Standard 2B, library services, and then Standard 2C, looking at student services. Just a reminder that we will have surveys that will be handed out during the presentations, and we'd ask you to take a few moments to fill those surveys out before you leave. Leave them on your chair. Also, just kind of a quick update, the visit is happening March 7th, next Monday. The team will be here. This Thursday, we have a interview workshop in the Eagle's Nest. So at 12:30 on Thursday, we'll have some information on how to prepare and what to expect during the interviews from the accreditation team next week. So we would invite you to come down to the Eagle's Nest on the first floor of the LRC and get that information. So without further ado, we'll have Standard 2A, Isabel, and Richard Rains. Isabel.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the fourth town hall. Is it the fourth, right? The fourth town hall. Well, I guess this one is not working. Are you hearing me now? Oh, okay, good. So this presentation today is on Standard 2, which is of 3 parts. So Richard and I will cover Standard 2A, which pertains to instruction, and then we'll have other colleagues do the other. Why don't I do this? All right. Okay, so Standard 2 it consists of instructional programs in 2A, library and learning support services in 2B, and student support services in 2C. Since things were not confusing enough with ACCJC, they switched B and C last year. So for those of you who had participated in accreditation in the past, 2C used to be 2B and vice versa. So they have switched the numbers on those two. But we'll have our colleagues go over that later for you. So there are 16 subsections in Standard 2A, all of which are related to instructional quality. And I'm not going to go through 16 slides for you for each one of the sections, so we have condensed them in fewer sections. So one of the main traits that appears in some of the questions in Standard 2A pertains to the college's mission and the relationship of our instructional programs to the mission. So we took the components of our mission statement and we justified each one of those through the instructional programs that we offer on campus. So those 5 components were transfer, preparation for the workforce, improvement of basic skills, development of critical thinking, and the improvement of the diverse communities that our college serves. The second main trait in Standard 2A pertain to contents and methods of instruction. So they wanted us to justify whether or not our programs aligned with generally accepted academic and professional standards. So those standards pertain to the length of the program or courses, the breadth of courses, the number of units that are assigned to each particular course, etc., etc. They also wanted to see if our programs and courses undergo any type of systematic review and improvement. And the answer is a resounding yes, since we have our curriculum process and the review of CORs that actually supports that. And whether or not our courses and programs retain their relevance and currency. And again, our CTE programs go through regional approval systems, our courses and programs through the SLO process and the PLO process, as well as COR reviews, undergo this type of scrutiny to make sure that our programs retain relevance and currency in the workforce, as well as in academia. The third component, as I'm sure you won't be surprised, has to do with learning outcomes. So this question came up, I don't know how many times in various standards in 2A. So they wanted to make sure that we have developed, assessed, and improved upon our SLOs, PLOs, and ILOs on a regular basis. And fortunately, we are in excellent shape, and we have pretty much 100% of our SLOs evaluated and improved upon on a cyclical basis. The same question also pertains to course outlines of record, or CORs as we call them here. And we do have a system by which we review our CORs on a regular basis, and that's every 6 years for all academic courses. Are we there? I don't know. The learning outcomes, is that you? Let me do this one also since. So they wanted to make sure that our program level outcomes satisfied components of communication, information, quantitative reasoning, ethical reasoning, and ability to engage diverse perspectives. And these are all covered under our institutional learning outcomes as well. So we were able to justify that by linking our SLOs and PLOs to institutional learning outcomes and show that we do fulfill all these requirements, and we impart to our students all these components in their education. Sure, go ahead. So I'm going to let Richard continue.
How do you switch slides?
Just enter.
Yeah, I wanted to say something a little bit about the previous slide, which was about contents and methods of instruction. Why can't they give us a podium that's level? Thank you. Okay, one of the, align generally with generally accepted academic and professional standards. That's a little bit vague, right? How do you know what's generally accepted academic professional standards, length, breadth, number of units, and so forth? One of the best ways by accreditation is by articulation. We have a lot of articulation agreements with other colleges and universities. I make it very clear to my students which colleges they can currently transfer over to with no problem. And if there's a college that isn't fully articulated, then Mike Fenton and other people put it on the list to get it articulated. So this really says a lot about our being in agreement with generally accepted academic professional standards. Undergo systematic review and improvement. We are required to rewrite our course outlines every few years, and then that goes through the curriculum committee, which looks at them very carefully. And there's always somebody on the curriculum committee who makes sure there's something that needs a little bit of fine-tuning or tweaking or something, so that it's done very carefully. In terms of learning outcomes, learning outcomes is an excuse to do something other than actual work, but it helps us to comply with the, hope nobody heard that, to comply with, oh no, to comply with the Accreditation Committee's requirements. So the department chairs and deans, with the support from the curriculum committee, closely supervise the alignment of the outcomes and the assessments with course objectives. So those are very seriously considered. And Isabel went through most of these. Delineation between subcollegiate and collegiate coursework. Assessment is a requirement for students coming in from high school or from any other subcollegiate environment. And things have been tightened up recently. They have new policies with admissions that help the student not to fall through the cracks, so they are adequately assessed so that they don't take algebra, advanced algebra, before they know how to do arithmetic, that sort of thing. Proper scheduling of courses and programs to facilitate timely completion of certificates and degrees. The median time for completion for students to attain 60-unit associate's degree certificate is commensurate with other colleges. And there's a nice table in the evaluation report on page 130 that shows that all of the 9 campuses to complete an associate degree take 4 years. They're set up so that the student could do it in 2 years if they wanted to, but it takes them 4 years in all the campuses except Trade Tech, which takes 5. To get a certificate of achievement for all the campuses takes 4 years, except for Pierce, Trade, and West, which take 3 years. So we're very much in line with all the other campuses in that respect. For distance education, it says distance education, but actually we comply with the effectively using delivery modes, teaching methodologies, and learning support services that reflect the diverse and changing needs of students. We not only have online, we have hybrid courses, we have face-to-face. Most of our campuses have smart classrooms, integrated technology, and so forth. So we're very much in the leading edge. And the distance education quality is monitored by the DE committee. And I was on it for a while, and I know they're very, very particular. They have strict guidelines on who can teach a DE course, what kind of training the instructor has to go through. The courses themselves are reviewed by the DE committee and the curriculum committee to make sure that they're up to snuff. And they also compare the outcomes of distant education, the success rates, comparing distance education classes with the online equivalents to make sure that they're commensurate. Already mentioned articulation. And to make sure that our colleges articulate with other colleges, several of our departments have common final examinations. The life science department, mathematics department have common final examinations, which are examined carefully by the faculty and by the curriculum committee, and they make sure that these examinations are in line with what colleges and universities everywhere would expect. So Mission College, when you take a course at Mission College, you might as well be taking it at UCLA or UC, I don't know if Berkeley, but all the UCs and Cal States. Okay? I'll turn this back to Isabel at this point.
Thank you. So we often think of articulation in terms of what transfers out of our college, but we also need to pay attention to what transfers into our college. So when a student has taken, let's say, Calc 1 in a different college, how does that articulate? How can they enter the system here? So there were a couple of questions regarding course transfer into the college in order to continue a particular sequence of courses. So we looked into that and responded to the question, and it seems that the process is a bit informal in some cases and is considered on a case-by-case basis. But we do accept students who come from a different college and want to articulate into our programs here. They also wanted to make sure that all the degrees that we offer include a component of general education, and whether we are in Plan A or Plan B of a general education system within the district, we do have a general ed component. But besides that, they wanted to make sure that if we offer a degree in physics or sociology or English or whatnot, then the name of the degree actually indicates the focus in the study within that particular program. And assuredly, we do that, and that's what our transfer model curriculum is all about. Then we moved on to our CTE programs, and we do have a very rich program here in the CTE departments. So how do we demonstrate that our CTE graduates, those who achieve either a certificate of achievement or accomplishment or receive an AA degree, are workforce ready? How do we make sure that what we impart to them in terms of knowledge and experience is commensurate to what they actually have to do in the workplace? So we do have advisory committees for a variety of our CTE programs, and through those advisory committees, we get input from businesses to make sure that what we have in terms of our curriculum is what they expect in the workforce. We also prepare students for licensure exams. For example, in child development, we do prepare students to take the license exam and be ready to go to work. So, the overall question here was, do we meet the standards of instruction? And the answer was a resounding yes. I hope that we all agree. Does anyone not agree here? Good. So, do we have room for improvement? The answer is always yes. We're doing really well, but can we improve? We can always improve. So we put actually only one area of improvement for now, but that doesn't mean that we cannot look at other areas. We just didn't want to give too much to the visiting team to chew on, right? So one of the actionable improvement plans that was listed in Standard 2A had to do with the online program review system, which currently does not include labor market information for our CTE programs. So the plan is to link labor market data to our program review processes in order to make better decisions in the future. And that task is going to befall on EPC and our CTE committees to modify the system, or at least tell our IT department and other constituent groups that are involved in this decision making to have the system incorporate these requirements in the future, so we have a direct link from the labor market information to our program review processes. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next up will be Standard 2B with Darlene Montez and Donna Ayers.
Kelly, how do you get to the... Great. Yeah, and then to go forward, we had that. Yeah, okay. You want me to do that, right? Thank you all for being here today. Standard 2B talks about library and learning support services. I, along with Donna Ayers, are the co-chairs of Standard 2B, along with Marie Zanes, David Garza, and Sheila McDowell are the team members. Now, Standard 2B consists of 4 subsections. The first subsection reads, the institution supports student learning and achievement by providing library and other learning support services to students and to personnel responsible for student learning and support. These services are sufficient in quantity, currency, depth, and a variety to support educational programs regardless of location or means of delivery, including distance education and correspondence education. Learning support services include, but are not limited to, library collections, tutoring, learning centers, computer laboratories, learning technology, and ongoing instruction for users of library and other learning support services.
I'll talk about how the library meets this standard. First of all, we have accessed organized collections. That would be book collections. We have a variety, children's books, textbooks, reference books, and so forth. We have periodicals, hard copy periodicals, ebooks. Also, then we go to the databases. The databases are available to students from any distance. We recently added Question Point 24/7, so that reference desk is also available to anybody 24 hours a day. We recently also added Learning Express. This is a database that helps students, anybody from GED work to basic skills to transfer students. And then we have all levels of print and online materials. And again, this covers our books and all of our collections. We try to address the needs of all levels, from basic skills to the transfer students. and the means to develop and support skills in information competency. This is all about our instruction program. We offer 2 Library Science 101 classes. We do regularly scheduled workshops that students can attend, and then we have lots and lots of orientations where we have instructors come either into LRC 205 or we go to their room.
Now, the Learning Center offers an array of programs and services to help students reach their academic goals. So they offer specialized tutoring in a wide range of disciplines and levels, workshops for mathematics classes, online supplemental instruction tutorials, writing and computer laboratories, and online and in-person tutoring. We also offer Net Tutoring, which is an online tutoring service available to all LAMC on-campus students as well as those taking online classes. NetTutor is available 24/7, and students can access the link from the main page, click on Students, and scroll down to the lower right-hand corner. The NetTutor link can also be found on the distance education page as well. Premier Assistive Software is the learning disability software for students with disabilities. We offer over 200 online workshops for students and access to reading software such as Reading Plus. There is walk-in tutoring available in science and mathematics, and auxiliary learning support services are available to students enrolled in specific instructional programs such as there's a Child Development Resource Center, there's a Multimedia Studies, we offer EOPNS, DSPNS, and CAOT. Now, the second subsection of Standard 2B is Standard 2B2, relying on appropriate expertise of faculty, including librarians and other learning support services professionals. The institution selects and maintains educational equipment and materials to support student learning and enhance achievement of the mission.
Okay, so we do have a library collection development plan which addresses deselecting, which is getting rid of, and selecting new material. So when we get that big budget to buy books, we will have a method to our madness. We have active participation in the curriculum review process. One of our librarians is a member of the curriculum committee, and all curriculum people who put through curriculum are required to fill out the library form. We have the technology replacement plan. On a regular basis, the computers in the library and the Learning Center are either updated and then at some point they're replaced. One thing I wanted to say, in the standard here, we put that we would be getting 20 new computers. We were only able to fit 16 in, but thanks to facilities and IT, that is already a done deal. We have online request form we have the same form for students on the student library page and the same form on the faculty so that they can request books. And then again, Learning Express, and I talked about that already. Okay. So standard 2B3, the institution evaluates learning and other learning support services to assure their adequacy in meeting identified student needs. Evaluation of these services includes that they contribute to the attainment of student learning outcomes. The institution uses the results of these evaluations as the basis for improvement. And of course, the library does have to go through program review process. We have one of our librarians is a member of LOAC, and that's Sheila. She last fall finished up an evaluation of the institutional learning outcome for information competency. What we found from that was that the students still need a little more work on MLA and APA. So we've added more workshops on that, and we also have encouraged instructors to have us come to their classroom. We've already booked 7 new classes, but we're just early in the semester, so we're hoping that will help with that learning outcome. Surveys of faculty, staff, and students, that would be district surveys, campus surveys, and then the library also does a survey itself. And then the tutoring, the surveys also address the tutoring activities that are in the LRC.
So the last subsection reads, then the institution relies on or collaborates with other institutions or other sources for library and other learning support services for its instructional programs. It documents that formal agreements exist and that such resources and services are adequate for the institution's intended purpose, are easily accessible and utilized. The institution takes responsibility for and ensures the security maintenance and reliability of services provided either directly or through contractual arrangement. The institution regularly evaluates these services to ensure their effectiveness. So we have an agreement, the library has an agreement with Community College League of California, which allows for reduced pricing in electronic resources. We also have a LACCD interlibrary loan policy, which allows students to borrow textbooks from other LACCD colleges. IT staff provides computer maintenance and cybersecurity. So with that, all we have to do is fill out the IT online request form, and they'll come and maintain the computers. And currently we have, LACCD has an agreement or a contract with LA County Sheriff's Department, which is under the Office of Administrative Services. Any questions in regard to Standard 2B?
I think after hearing this, we can all agree that this 7 pages of the accreditation report is truly the heart of the accreditation.
I would agree. I would agree, Donna.
Darlene agrees with me. Okay.
Thanks, Darlene. Thanks, Donna. The next standard up is Standard 2C, Student Services, and Ludi Vegas and Diane Bonilla will help us look at that. So. I'll pull it up here. Okay, there you go.
Okay, so for the Standard 2C, I'm going to read you the description of what is expected of us. So the institution regularly evaluates the quality of student support services and demonstrates that these services, regardless of location or means of delivery, including distance education and correspondence education, support student learning and enhance accomplishment of the mission of the institution.
Okay, so how did LAMC meet the standard? So we met the standard by our 3SP and student equity plans through regular reviews of program review process, and then also in reviewing and assessing the service area outcomes. Also with annual reports to the state and federal agencies on behalf of various student services units, which gauge their own efficiency, fiscal stability, and quality. And Ludi will expand on that a little bit more.
Yes, as you know, some of our programs that, regardless of any requirements, have to submit their annual reports to the state and federal. For example, the EOPNS program is mandated to have a program plan every year. So is Disabled Student Services, as well as financial aid, and also CalWorks.
Furthermore, LAMC met this standard by conducting a distance education survey in the fall of 2014, and we'll elaborate more on that in later slides. Also, the Student Support Services Committee, which is like the counterpart for EPC, that committee, Shared Governance Committee, validates all of the comprehensive review programs in the student services units. And the recommendations for improvements are addressed by the unit and included in the subsequent year's program review.
Okay, so how does LAMC meet the standard continued? The following services units support accomplishment of the various components of the college's mission. And the mission statement. I'm not going to read it to you, but that's what we're addressing here. Increased transfer. We've accomplished that through the Transfer Center, counseling, articulation. Equity through Disabled Student Services, EOP&S programs, Veterans Affairs, Foster Kinship Care, Education, Health Center, International Student Center, 3SP and TRIO financial aid. Also with the career preparation that we do with the counseling component and CalWorks. Improvement of basic skills, we do through the Assessment Center, Disabled Student Services, CalWorks, and tutoring services. Improving the lives of the diverse community served by the college includes athletics, fitness center, child development center, health center, outreach and recruitment, and veterans affairs.
So what were the strengths and best practices? Well, based on the survey done by the Distance Education Committee, the college has taken concrete steps to meet the needs of distant education students, such as offering e-counseling and online tutoring. Also, student service units employ program review to revisit the mission statement, which we described to you in the previous slide, and other various departments. Also, as well, again, continually assessing the service area outcomes and then analyzing the effectiveness of these services.
Okay, so to adequately address the gaps identified by the 2014-15 Comprehensive Program Review process, the Student Success Action Plan was developed and resulted in several hires. We were so excited about hiring all of these people, and we're still in the process of growing and hiring more faculty. So just to name a few, we hired a Dean of Student Success, Carlos Gonzalez, an Associate Dean of Disabled Student Services, Larry Resendez, one full-time tenure-track General Counselor, Christine Corinian, one Outreach and Recruitment Coordinator, Wendy Rivera, an Admissions and Records Evaluation Technician, Roji Bachishibi, and two limited one-year counselors, Nancy Pearl and Irma Morales. Our articulation officer, that we are so excited that she's here to do more articulation component aspect, is Elizabeth Otondo, and our part-time athletic counselor, Erica Torgensen.
So what are the gaps and areas needing improvement? The college implemented the Student Services Action Plan, which was discussed by Ludi, and this addressed the gaps identified in the Commission's July 2013 action letter. Also, in 2014-15, the Comprehensive Program Review Unit assessments identified gaps in services and staffing levels and underlined the necessity for improved oversight, specifically in 3SP. To help rectify these gaps, the college made several new hires, which we discussed, and also extended evening hours of the services, and online counseling support was added. A DE student focus group was conducted in November of 2015, and based on these results, students indicated that e-counseling would be more convenient, especially when they have limited time. Counseling and e-counseling links should be more visible on the main college website, or main college webpage, and this is now a quick link. There is a quick link to e-counseling on our main college website, and counseling is referring students who are taking online and hybrid courses to this link. Also, it would be helpful to have e-counseling mentioned on the course syllabus for all online and hybrid students. These are the comments that the students made in the DE survey. Furthermore, as we discuss actionable improvement plans, or AIPs as we call them, by the fall of 2016, Student Services, in collaboration with the DE Committee and the Office of Institutional Effectiveness, will engage in further outcomes assessment to improve the quality of services provided in all modalities. And it has been discussed and planned to survey another area in student services. Additionally, in collaboration with the DE Committee, They have assisted the college by providing an online student services link for DE students. And this can be achieved by 2 clicks. So as I mentioned before, we have a quick link for the online counseling. Once a student clicks on that, they can then do one more click on what's clearly labeled online student services, which are a series of icons that the students can then click on. These icons are the application process, registering for classes, the college catalog, counseling, e-counseling, the schedule of classes, assistance with Canvas, financial aid, purchasing textbooks, and the library. So I invite you to do those 2 clicks to take a look at it yourself. It's very nice what they have done.
Okay, for the quality focus essay, I'm sure all of you have the quality focus essay, and I'm just going to touch a little bit on how it relates to this particular standard. During the process of the accreditation self-evaluation, the college evaluated itself. So the quality focus essay describes 2 action projects of improvement. One action project is focusing on integrated planning, which I'm not going to discuss that right now. But I'm going to discuss on the number 2, on the second project. The second project 2, it's transforming student services to achieve student success. In the past years, 2008 to 2011, due to the economic recession, the Student Services Division suffered major financial reductions. The departments were affected by this. For example, some of the departments that were affected was Disabled Student Services, EOP&S, ASO, and Counseling. The cuts diminished the quality and quantity of student services. However, with the passage of Prop 30 in 2012, it strengthened the economy and passed new legislature. So with that legislature comes you've heard of 3SP, Student Success and Support Program, and the Student Equity Programs. Our goal moving forward is to use data to drive decision-making processes. And with that, I conclude the information on the quality focus essay. And I also would like to say thank you. We would not have accomplished any of this without the collaboration of all of the student services departments. Thank you very much, and I open it to any questions at this point. Well, thank you very much, and I think this concludes our presentation.
All right, thank you very much. To conclude today's town hall meeting, Dr. Perez, I think you had some words of encouragement and wisdom for us. So, Dr. Perez?
Yes, I know you don't recognize me. I'm a different person. I got rid of this mustache after 40 years, so. You like it? Okay, good. My wife loves it. First of all, I want to say this. This presentation today is outstanding. 2A, 2B, 2C. As Donna indicated, 2B being the heart. 2A is the blood flow. And 2C is all the bones and the structure of the body. What we have here is really the crux of the major visit. The number of questions are going to be in this area as well as in Standard 1 and 3 and 4. But this one is really the heart. So we are more than ready, I must say, in talking to my other colleagues. They're frantically running around trying to figure out getting ready for the visit. And yesterday we were doing like a debrief and saying things are quiet on our end because we're so ready, we're so prepared. So I want to congratulate all of you. Thank you for coming today. We are getting the schedules together for the visit next week, and we'll be getting that information out about the open forums. I believe they've already been scheduled for March 8th and another one the following day. We are going to have a welcome Monday morning, we're looking at having a welcome to the team. So we'll probably have some coffee and some pastry and fruit or something for them and welcome them. So that's like a meet and greet. So it's not a heavy loaded thing. It's more just shaking their hand and getting to know who they are. So I think we're in tip-top shape. And again, I want to thank all of you and look forward to next week. I'm sure we're, as Kelly says, March 10th at 6 o'clock, when they're gone, we're going to celebrate. So he can't hardly wait. Look at him. That's where his head is at. So we'll be working diligently this weekend, preparing for the visit as well. I am attending, along with Michael Allen, a luncheon Sunday with all 10 teams at downtown Los Angeles with district staff. So, and the presidents will be there and the ALOs. So it's going to be a whale of a week, but again, we are totally prepared, and onward and upward, LAMC Eagles.
All right, thanks, Dr. Perez. That concludes our town hall meeting. Are there any last minute questions at all about accreditation, the visit, interviews, anything like that at all before we conclude? Okay, if you have any questions, email me. I'll be on campus from now through next Thursday at 6 o'clock. So that includes Saturday, Sunday. So email me. Thank you very much. Please take a minute to fill out the surveys. Leave them on your chair. We'll collect them after you leave.